We're going to take you now to Mackay in Queensland, where the Queensland Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk is speaking.
Courage and what they had to face in the path of these destructive fires over the course of the last few days, but also to especially yesterday evening. And can I thank everyone who's been helping out? Can I thank the volunteers that have donated extra water and resources here for the fireys and for everyone who's been working on the front line. Thank you to a very generous Mackay community, and it's wonderful to be joined with the Mayor, Greg Williamson, here today. Thank you, Greg, to you and your council for the extraordinary work that you've been doing, as well as Julianne Gilbert, our Assistant Minister. Look, from the outset, can I offer my condolences to the family of a very young man that tragically lost his life. It goes to show that everyone is doing everything they can to save their homes and properties, and it is just with great sadness that we've learnt about this young man's death, and I'll ask the Deputy Commissioner to speak about that. But on behalf of all Queenslanders, I really want to pass on my condolences to the family. It's a very, very sad day for that family today. I've had the opportunity also today to listen to our frontline workers. They've talked about this fire basically being the flames, being taller than the trees that surround us here today. So Yangala was a really very important operation last night, and thankfully everyone is safe. But it took the courage of a lot of fireys on the ground to do everything they possibly could. We still have over 100 fires throughout our state. And I'd like to make a big plea to all Queenslanders tomorrow. We are going to be facing again an unprecedented heat wave, and it is going to impact right across our state. Of course, we have these strong winds that pick up in the afternoons, and we want to make sure that people get accurate information as quickly as possible. And once again, I ask you to please be listening to your radio, take notice of your phones, and listen to your television channels, because there may be alerts that need to happen straight away. I've also had the opportunity this morning to speak with the Acting Prime Minister, Michael McCormack. He is currently on his way to Miriam Vale. I visited Miriam Vale yesterday. And once again, I do want to thank the federal government for the support that they are showing us, especially when Queenslanders are going through an unprecedented time. I might just ask our Deputy Commissioner, our State Disaster Coordinator, to make a few comments, and then we'll hand over to the Mayor and the Commissioner.
Thanks, Premier. Sadly, last night, police received a call at about 7:30 about a 21-year-old male that had been trying to fell a tree. Investigations are still continuing. O'Brien's Road near Rolleston, south of Rolleston, is where the incident occurred. I can't say much more than that because it's an investigation still underway, but it's clear to me that it's a terrible, terrible tragedy for the entire family. We really feel for them. As soon as we can, we'll put out more information, but I've got to say that may take some time. Of course, we'll report to the coroner on it. But can I really say that we're putting as much support into that family as we possibly can? It does tell us, though, as the Premier has correctly pointed out, obviously, that we're in a dangerous situation still. Can I just touch on the incident here last night and the whole Mackay region and the effort that's been going for well over 5 days now. A fantastic effort. Mackay has always been like that, continues to be, but it's not over yet. I'm really, really proud of the people here. It's been good to see the volunteers, but the team effort tells you about the community here. It's all about the volunteers with the professional firefighters doing their really great job with police, but working with the volunteers. And I just couldn't be more proud of the effort of the entire team. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Premier, and it's great to have the Premier in town. It's great to have Commissioner Carroll and Assistant Commissioner G in town today to see firsthand what our community, as so many other communities throughout Queensland, have been going through over the last 3 or 4 days. Totally uncharted territory for us in terms of emergency management, and I think our community has stood up exceptionally well. And once again, as everybody is saying and will say for a number of days yet, we have to take our hats off to the hundreds of volunteers from the rural fire sector, all of the QFIS people, and the Queensland Police and the SES. Just an outstanding effort And the community members who are supporting that effort, you know, we just can't say enough about it. It's tremendous. It makes you really proud to be a Queenslander. And from our perspective here in the Pioneer Valley, you know, yesterday was a tough day at Youngla. Started off as a very calm day, ended up chaotic. And the Youngla community, we're going up there shortly, the Premier will see firsthand, but the Youngla community is a community that deserves a pat on the back. I mean, we've seen resilience firsthand. And when that big bomber, and thank you very much, Commissioner Carroll, when that big 737 bomber came in late yesterday afternoon and did 2 passes, it was just like the cavalry coming. And so what we saw then was a marvellous uplift in morale, and that's what the community needs at this stage, 4 days into a totally unpredictable situation and many more days to come. So, Premier, thanks for what you are doing and leading the the State Disaster Control Centre, and thanks for your government support here. It's just been fantastic. We're really, really grateful for the fact that we have a community that stands up in any emergency. We're used to floods and cyclones, not used to fires, but we'll come through this, and we come through it together as a community and as a state. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you, Premier. Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to add to a couple of comments by the Premier and the Mayor, and they are absolutely correct. What the community has achieved here, the volunteers, the paid staff, all emergency services, has just been something truly unbelievable. You know, we spoke about how unprecedented this event was going to be. It actually was unimaginable. To think that we got in catastrophic conditions, that has never occurred in our state before. We have well over 100 fires across the state still, with several hundred staff on the ground. Just this region alone, there are still 70 fires. And as you know, in this area, Finch Hatton, Youngla, Dalrymple, those fires have come together and presenting even more of a challenge. The crew behind you, and I'm sure you've seen them all, have done a sterling job. Some haven't slept for days to put in the brakes, defend the fire with all of the aerial assets. They have saved hundreds of houses, and across the state defended thousands of houses. Well done, very proud of you. Looking forward now to going with the Mayor and the Premier to have a further look as to what has been achieved around here. We're not out of the woods yet, and we've spoken about that. There's a heat wave tomorrow. The winds are increasing, so this will present a further challenge for us. But I know, as has been said, that we will get through this. Thank you.
Any quick questions for anyone?
Premier, there's been some chatter this morning about there hasn't been, or some residents think there hasn't been enough preventative burns going on in this area. Is that something you will look at after this is said and done as far as...
Yeah, look, I'll let the Commissioner address those issues, but let me say a couple of things. The first thing is we have had record temperatures in this state, the likes of which we've never seen before. Secondly, they have been over a sustained period of time, the likes of which we've never seen before. And as we've said, unprecedented to have so many fires happening across our state when these conditions are the conditions you expect to see normally in southern states like Victoria. We are now seeing them in Queensland. And as the Mayor said too, you know, we fight cyclones and we fight floods and everything, and now we're fighting bushfires. And can I thank everyone? And I thank the community most of all for their understanding and their patience. And we've got still many days to get through, but we need to stick together, we need to stay strong, and we need to be listening to the authorities. And that's exactly what the community did last night. That's exactly what the Gracemere community did. That's exactly what the communities did in Deepwater and Rules Beach and Serena Beach. Right around our state, people have been listening. And I want to thank everyone for that, because without you listening, it would be a completely different story. I might just get the Commissioner to address the other part of the question.
Thank you. Certainly. We do have a hazard reduction program that works throughout the entire state. So that is mitigation burns, putting in containment lines, and that is targeted to the high-risk areas around the state, and all that work is conducted before the fire season. So I think we achieved most of that around the state. However, what happened this year and what we're seeing is that the fire season started several weeks earlier than what we expected, and certainly put a challenge on us, and we didn't really finish all of the hazard reduction that we would wish to have achieved. We have spoken to the volunteers already. This is a part of our future planning, and certainly we will be looking at further hazard reduction burns and containment lines in this area as a result.
So it's just Does this disaster change the game for you as far as how you're planning for these events or planning for these reduction burns?
I think this disaster has changed the game for everyone across Australia and certainly in the state. When we started out talking about our fire season some months ago, we knew it was going to be a very, very serious fire season. And the weather predictions is an El Nino, hotter and drier than usual. However, even the Bureau and everyone involved in this did not anticipate what we saw 2 days ago. To think that Queensland could get to catastrophic is something unheard of. So there are many, many learnings that will come from this. However, I've got to say, the response to this event across the state has been second to none. It has been truly tremendous.
All right, thanks everyone.
Thank you.